Hi, everyone. Hi, Tanika. Welcome to Not Your Mama's Drama.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting. We really appreciate it. We're going to ask that you please subscribe and share this with your friends. We really appreciate it. So, Marianne, what's going on in your life today? What's your drama?
My drama today is this thing that I keep hearing women our age describe themselves as boring. And everyone says they're boring. Oh, what do you like to do? Oh, I'm kind of boring. What do you enjoy doing? Oh, I'm kind of boring. And I just think, like, we can't all just be boring. It has to be that this is the norm, right? Like, it's just, we're at an age where life is not boring, it's peaceful. Isn't that
Ex-
different?
yeah, I would completely agree with that. I don't need a lot of drama in my life. So, the little things that bring me peace, joy, comfort, and happiness are the things I love.
Exactly. And those are the things that you're going to gravitate towards, right? So you're making choices for yourself that are going to make your life just a little bit more peaceful. Whether that is, for example, I was scrolling through Facebook as we all do, and my friend just went to this concert and she had amazing pictures about this concert that she went to. And I was thinking, that's not very peaceful. Those pictures look amazing, but that's just not a very peaceful setting. Parking isn't peaceful, right? She was standing in an area where there were no chairs. So that means you have to stand to get a good spot. You have to stand there the whole time while you're waiting for the concert to start. You have to stand there for the whole concert, and then you have to stand while you're walking out. That's a lot of standing. That's a lot of hours. I'm
That
not
is.
I'm not sure I could do it. So, as I'm comparing my life to hers, I feel like I just made the peaceful choice to stay home. Other times, I might make the choice to be in that happy environment dancing, but I made the peaceful choice. So, I just want us to think about ourselves a little bit differently because we all do things that we enjoy. We all do things that if someone else knew about it, they would be like, oh, that's so amazing. I want to do that too. But we can't be doing those things all of the time. Sometimes we have to just choose peace.
Sometimes you do. And sometimes you do choose an activity. You just mentioned the concert, which brings to mind my husband and I just last weekend went to the Reggae Wine Festival.
Oh,
So there was reggae, there was food, there were vendors that were selling, jewelry and a bunch of stuff like clothing and bags, a whole lot of stuff. And it was really so much fun. It was just me and him. We had a cooler, we had charcuterie, we had lawn chairs. It was a great day for it. The sun, it was kind of like an overcast day. So it was
yeah.
really warm, but the sun was not beaming down on you. It was just like kind of perfect. And there was wine, lots of it. So we bought a bottle there. Plus, you had 15 samples, which you could taste as many times as you wanted to taste. So it was kind of a great day.
That sounds amazing. I love sampling wine and I just love being comfortable. So I usually choose the comfort of my home. But if I'm going to be somewhere, I want to be in a lawn chair. I want to have access to cold drinks and cheese. And I also want to have access to the bathroom because I'm going to need to use it pretty regularly. I
Yep.
think we mostly, people do. And I'm just not one of those people that could go somewhere and just never use the bathroom for 5 hours. So my friends at that concert, and you know what I'm thinking? How was it to get to the bathroom? Was it a long line? Was it far? How do you push through all those people to get to the bathroom? So not boring, just peaceful. I'm just choosing peace.
Let me tell you what was the most unpeaceful thing about the concert, which was, the festival, which was amazing. The bathroom situation. It was only porta potties. I haven't used a porta potty in like a long, long, long time because they're disgusting.
They
So
are.
I went and it was disgusting. And I was like, God, please just don't let me die in here.
I know. Get stuck.
Yeah, don't. Oh my God! Don't let the door get stuck. But there were no lines, and it wasn't the worst possible experience you could have. And they had the washing station outside of the porta potties, so it worked out. So that was definitely not boring. And I'm like, oh my God! If so many things could go wrong. Please don't let any of the things that could go wrong in here go wrong. Please don't let me touch anything. And it worked out, so it was fine. But in general, that was my non-boring thing. I'm sure I'm typically, some people may look at me at my life and say she doesn't do anything exciting, but hey, I used a porta potty.
You
I'm living on the edge.
you went to a wine festival. No, reggae festival. I
Yeah,
mean, that's exciting. Just doing things like that. And I know, like when you're dating someone, I'm not dating anyone. I've been married for a long time, but I'm sure if I was dating someone, I'd have a ton of exciting things to compare my life to. Because usually someone's trying to woo you and you're finding stuff to do because you can't be in just in the living room watching TV. That's not exciting if you're in a new relationship.
right.
So I also can't compare myself to my friends that are on their second or third marriages because that's not the same.
It's not. You know who else you cannot ever compare yourself to? Your adult children. So I said to my son this weekend, I'm feeling pretty good about my reggae wine festival. What are you doing this weekend? And he says, oh, I'm going whale watching. What? Like, who? What? So he and his girlfriend, they've been dating for a little bit, but kind of a while now. But anyway, I shouldn't be putting his business on my podcast. So sorry. So sorry. Anyway, they went whale watching this weekend, and well, that was the plan. And I'm like, really? Like, who does that? And my husband said, well, Tanika, if you want to go whale watching, go whale watching. And I'm like, I don't need that much excitement. I'm good.
I know. I guess it's just hard when you're, in a relationship like that to look for new things to do all of the time, right? But I guess all your friends are dating. So someone goes whale watching this weekend. The next person is like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me add that to my list. I'll go whale watching too. I hadn't thought of going whale watching. That would be exciting.
Are there whales in Florida?
I don't think so. I don't think you could see any whales. I think it's seasonal. I think you can see whales like in maybe September through November when they're traveling, who knows in what direction,
Yeah.
but not anywhere near here. So I'm going to check that out. That might be exciting. I have, since I'm from Puerto Rico, I have had the experience of being in areas where you can see whales, but sometimes you don't see any whales. So it's kind of like bird watching almost.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to see.
So getting back to, how, because that was the whale watching, that's for the exciting people. What about the people like us that maybe, you're comparing yourself and you're feeling like you're boring? Is it really boring if it's making you happy?
I don't think so. I don't think it's boring if it's making you happy. I think if it fills you with like being refreshed, like whatever you need to do to be refreshed, if it's go for a walk, if it's go, join your friends, if it's just go to the mall and buy some, it could just be the little things. It could be, I don't know, folding laundry, that might
Nope.
refresh me.
No, that would not refresh me.
Your laundry basket. Whatever it is that just fills your heart, that is what you should do. And you should be excited that you're breathing, that you're alive, that most of our problems are taken care of, and just enjoy, the peace of whatever it is that's making you happy.
That's a really good point, Marianne. I think that living in a state of gratitude at least part of every single day will really make you appreciate what you have and not then pine after what you don't, or pine after this lifestyle that you think is more exciting, or something that's like the grass is always greener, right? But if you just take the time to be thankful for the grass, the patch of grass that you have, I think it makes you feel better about whatever your situation is, even if it's boring.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, sometimes I don't know if it's like superstition, But, you get caught up in just life and the busyness and having so many problems. And sometimes I pause and I'm like, let me just be grateful. Let me just be grateful that I'm healthy. Let me just be grateful that I'm living. Let me be grateful that my family is okay. And I don't know, I feel like the energy changes and
Yep.
good things start to come my way, versus, I guess, being just bogged down by the day to day and the problems that you have. So positive vibes bring on more positivity, maybe.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the case. And, that's not easy to do every day, all day. But it is, for me, I try to at least do it in the morning when I wake up because I woke up. Like, that's a big deal. That could have gone differently.
Yeah.
So, I'm really happy about that. And then I see my children, I see my husband, I see the light of day. I can get up, I can do, make my own coffee. The small things, which are actually kind of huge. I still have my right mind. These things that I might do the same exact thing every single day. So it may be a little bit monotonous, but it is my space of comfort, and I think you can really find peace in monotony and knowing what's coming next. Like, who wants all the excitement of I don't know what's going to happen today?
I don't want it. I want an itinerary. Like, tell me what's going to happen the entire day, please, so I can be prepared.
Exactly. Preparation is happiness.
Yeah. I was thinking this weekend, about like how fortunate we are, and life changes so quickly, and just being so fortunate that, like, my children are still in my home. They're going to be leaving very soon, and I'm just going to have such a quiet house, and thinking like of all the older women in my life, that my mom and other aunts, that their house is just completely quiet. There are no partners. It's just silence. So
Mhm.
I it just made me pause and be like, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm going to stop complaining, and I'm going to enjoy the busyness and my family in this moment in my life, because it's going to change at some point, and I'm going to be looking for people to talk to because my house is going to be so quiet.
Well, first of all, you have me, you have our podcast, you have our millions of listeners. I mean, maybe not millions yet, but we're getting there. And I agree with you. I think that you really have to just, first of all, be grateful again for what you have. And then, secondly, things can change at any time. So I like, again, just knowing, expecting. I can expect what's going to happen on a Tuesday. I can
Mhm.
expect what's going to happen on a Wednesday. And then there are those times where I'll go to a reggae wine festival. That's
Exactly.
something totally different. And I'll let that be my excitement and I'll enjoy it. I'll have fun with it. And then I'll come back and, Netflix. And I say Netflix and chill, but I don't mean that in the colloquialism kind of way.
Relax. Netflix and lie down on your own side of the bed. Kind of what I do. So I don't think that I could compete with anyone's Instagram life. So I just can't
No.
even like hold myself to that. Like, I can't be a trendsetter. I really don't want to, not I don't want to offend anyone, but I don't want to take a picture of my food. I just don't. Like, I just want to eat it. I want to eat it, and I don't want to look at the angles. I don't want to take a picture not only of my food, of anyone else's. Like, if I can't. I cannot say, "Hold on, let's just take a picture of all this food." My mind doesn't even think that way. And I'm a picture person. I love taking pictures. But I think that I've just gotten, maybe I'm just too old when all this social media came out, or maybe it wasn't for me. But I'm not the person that's taking all these pictures when they're at events. And my kids are always like, you should Instagram more. You should take more pictures. You would have so many pictures. Um, I wonder what it would be like if I got into it, if then it would just become this thing that consumes me because I want to take a picture of everything, and I just like, oh nope, you know, I wonder if I just haven't jumped on that bandwagon yet, and that's why I'm not there. But sometimes when you're comparing yourself, there's so many people on Instagram that's their life, right? That's all they do. They post and they take pictures and they get their makeup done, and I'll never measure up. I'll never be that person. I don't have the staff.
Well, there are people that literally have staff. They have the makeup artist, they have the hair, they have the stylist, they have the photographer. And you know what's interesting? I bet. So you know how you look at Instagram and Facebook and TikTok or whatever, and you see all of these interesting things, and you're like, "Boy, that would be great. I wish I could do that," or "Why don't I do that?" Or whatever. When you're comparing yourself, which we try not to do, but I bet that if you started posting and taking more pictures, then people would do the exact same thing in reference to you. Like, look at this great life that Marianne has. We talked about it a little bit when you went on your vacation to Puerto Rico. That looked like the best trip ever. In
I
fact, I'll be in Puerto Rico next week.
and you'll have pictures that will just represent an amazing life because that's what we all do. We just take these amazing pictures when we're on vacation because we want the memories, but
Yeah.
no one takes pictures of awful stuff. You want the pictures of the good stuff. And no one knows how difficult it was to get there, right? Like no one can see the line to get to the concert, how hard it was to go to the bathroom. No one can see
Yeah.
you arguing with your kids when you're at the airport trying to get on the plane, saying use the bathroom before. No one sees any of that. You just see the beauty in it. So it's really, you got to remember that, right? Everyone is posting the pretty moments. No one is sitting here posting the horrible moments, but we all have them.
That I was just gonna say that. You said no one's taking bad pictures or pictures of the bad moments. They might be taking them, but they're not posting them. You hit the nail on the head. No one's posting the bad stuff.
Mom, don't aren't you the person that when all the pictures are there and you're going to post them, you're not really looking to see how anyone looks. You're like, yeah, I look good in this one. Yep, I look good in this one. Everyone's halfway decent. Oh no, wait, no, I don't look good in this one. It's all about how I looked in the pictures. It's not really about how anyone else looked.
Well, yeah, obviously.
It's not their Facebook.
That's true.
My cousin was telling me one day, she was like messaging me and she's like, you look like you're having so much fun, you guys just look like you're living life and it's so wonderful. And here I don't really do that much, but my response to her was like, that's what Facebook is for. It's for the pretty moments. Not always so pretty, but that's what social media is for.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, again, if we go back to gratitude, you do live a pretty amazing life. And so do I. And it's great for us. It's wonderful. I love it. It's, the best life, the best thing that could be happening for me right now. And like you said earlier, I don't want to be a trendsetter. No thanks. I
No.
don't want to set the bar. I'm okay with just going to the bar.
And if you are doing something trendy, do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else. If you're buying a Peloton, do it because you want to get healthier and you enjoy cycling and you think it might be good something to do for yourself. Don't do it because you want to take pictures of your Peloton and post it on Instagram. And you know what I mean? Like find that balance where when you're doing things, you're doing it for yourself and for your own heart, because otherwise you're never going to feel fulfilled if you're always doing stuff for other people.
Yeah. And those things that bring you actual joy and actual peace and real happiness, those things, whether or not, and who cares if someone else thinks it's boring? Like, really, who cares? So, if those things bring you the contentment that you're looking for in your life, then that's good. You should do it. Do it up.
Exactly. And don't put too much into the judgment that people are going to give you. If it fills you up, then take advantage of it, take it, use it to fill your bucket.
And generally, people that judge, generally, I mean, everybody judges a little bit, but people that are like vocally judging you, they really hate something in their own lives. That's why they kind of point it out in your life.
Or sometimes I feel like they wish they had the courage, right? Like even if you do something and fail, you're doing it. But I think that sometimes people are critical because they don't have the courage to do it themselves, to take those risks and to fail, because many times we fail at things. And I tell myself that all the time. When I do something and I don't like failing, I like to feel successful. But if I fail, I just look at other failures to make myself feel okay. Like, it's okay. We're not always perfect. We just keep these images of the perfect situations in our head, but that's not what's happening. People are not living these perfect lives that we can't feel like we're doing the same. We're living good lives too.
Right, exactly. And failure is just it's setting you up for the comeback.
Mhm.
That's the way. It's a lesson learned. It's one to grow on. It's the thing that will propel you to the next level, the next step. And or you just sit there and don't learn your lesson.
Yeah, it's true. Make more mistakes.
Yeah,
Prepare
you'll get
yourself
it eventually.
prepare yourself for more comebacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do? Because we're talking about like just, finding joy, and, if you're boring, it's not really boring finding peace. So what do you do to kind of like reinvent yourself so that you can re-energize yourself? What kind of things have you done that are just like something new that you've picked up because that's the type of energy that you need in your life?
What I did last year, and I did it for about a year, starting 2 years ago through last year, was I got into riding my bike. And I was posting that a lot because I felt like if I did all the exercise, I deserved for people to know about it. But I was doing for a stint 100 miles a month,
Wow.
either walking, running, or biking. So I did 100 miles a month for several months, and that felt amazing. Now that has fallen off a little bit because I physically fell off my bike, and I said, "Oh, the stupid bike."
No, oh no, that's awful.
It is. It was my fault. That was definitely user error. I tried to go up on a curb, like I was 10 and like I could just jump it. I could not. So I hit it. And then I went onto the sidewalk and like scraped a decent, it was not great. But prior to that, I really got into it. So sometimes I'll get into a particular exercise. Like at one point when Zumba was really, really hot, I was very much addicted to it. So I really do like to move, but then once I get off of that trend, unfortunately, I need to find the next thing that's really going to motivate me. And I've not found that yet.
I I don't like consistently love exercise, but I love the benefits. And I was gonna say about your bike fall, like you're just set yourself up for the comeback. Like now you're ready.
You're right. And I could have been doing it pretty much since April, when the weather breaks here in Maryland. But I didn't have a bike rack. I had a bunch of excuses. Let me tell you what I did have.
Hmm.
All the excuses in the world.
Yeah.
So now I think I'm going to try to get into it. It's been really hot, of course, here and everywhere else, but I think if I can do it early in the mornings or maybe go to wait until a little bit later, maybe in September, I think I could get back into it. And maybe that's the challenge I'll give myself.
Exactly. So I very much like you have like when I've taken the opportunity to reinvent myself, it's always about health, right? And fitness and just taking on a new challenge. And when I moved to Maryland, that's really when I became running and I just started became a runner and I started just running a little bit and I ended up running a ton, like 5 and 6 miles, at a time, which is
Mhm.
amazing. But just like everything, once you stop doing it, it's almost like starting over.
Yeah.
So I'm challenging myself to start over again because I haven't done it consistently. And the benefit is so incredible when you're doing stuff like that that I think it just makes everything else so exciting. Like you've got your energy out, your endorphins are all going, and you just feel good about your life. So reinventing myself is usually about fitness. But this summer, I've just been sleeping. I've been sleeping in, until it's time for me to get up, like right on the dot. because I'm so tired. So I've spent the whole summer hibernating, and in like 2 weeks when summer ends for us, I'm gonna kick back and get up in the morning and exercise and do my thing. So I'm coming back. My comeback is coming.
That's awesome. I fully applaud you for trying, and I know you can do it. And I did want to, I said what I used to do. What I'm doing now is watching TV.
Yeah. And we all deserve a break sometimes. We do. And then, when you decide to buy yourself that exercise equipment, because that's what's going to reinvent yourself and re-energize you, or go to that new class that just, opened up and it's in the trendy thing, you do it. But you do it
Yep,
for yourself because that's what's going to fill your soul and that's what's going to fill your heart.
exactly. And what another thing that kind of fills me is rest. Good night. Just going to sleep, cutting out the day, cutting out the noise, taking myself to bed. Sometimes, unfortunately, I'll take myself to bed with my phone. So
Mhm.
that's not really rest, but it is my me time.
I am a huge advocate of rest. If I can't rest, which usually doesn't happen to me, I have like melatonin and ZQL and all the things that will help me get a really good night's sleep because my body just needs it. So, yes. And sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I'm just like, I'm out. Peace. This day has to end. It is time. Let's reset for tomorrow. So, you got to find your balance.
You do. And again, it depends on, I guess, boring is in the eye of the beholder. So some of
Mhm.
the things like we do may be considered boring to other people. But again, as long as it brings you happiness or as long as it brings you joy, comfort, and peace, then it's fine. Maybe parasailing is what someone else needs to do in order to feel that joy and that peace. But if that's not for you, then don't compare yourself to the parasailer, That's unrealistic. It's not, that's their thing for them is not for you.
Especially when you're looking at it and you're like, that's something I would never do. Like, why even compare yourself, right? Like, if people are jumping off buildings, you're like, oh, that's so exciting. That's something I would never do.
Yeah.
So I'm setting myself up to fail if I'm comparing myself to someone that's jumping off a building or bungee jumping or parasailing or
Yeah.
jumping out of a plane. It's just like very unlikely.
Or going to clubs. I'm not doing that anymore.
It's not going to happen at all. Or going to concerts. Just kidding. I might go to a concert here and there, but
Yeah, concerts can be pretty fun, but not often. I don't need to. I think we talked about this before. I think the last one I went to was like 5 years ago. That's part COVID and part I'm good.
yeah. Well, then think about it like on a weeknight. Like, why don't all the concerts just happen on Saturdays?
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anything on a Tuesday. That's wild.
That's exciting.
Not for me. But maybe one day I'll consider it. I will consider it. Well, I think in the end, it's really just about being content, right? Like, do what makes you happy and don't worry about anyone else.
Exactly. I think that everyone has the low moments in life, and that's fine. It can't all be exciting all the time, and why would you even want it to be? I think there's so much calm and peace in just doing cool things, just hanging out, just showing up for yourself on whatever level you need to show up for yourself on. So if that is just watching TV or taking a long bath or a long walk or just talking to a girlfriend, having a sip of wine, whatever it is that you do that brings that comfort and peace to yourself, it doesn't make a difference if I think what you're doing is boring. If what you're doing brings you what you're looking for, if it fills you, then that's exactly what you need to do.
Exactly. And so if you're having a low moment, right? Because there are moments when you're just calm, but you're happy. But if you're having low moments and you're unhappy, then we're going to talk about mental health in another episode because then you have to recognize that, right? And look for some help. If it's, I'm not unhappy, I'm just at peace. I'm calm. I am relaxed. But if I were unhappy, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And there may be times where you need professional help, and there's nothing wrong with that. We have both had professional help when we had low moments, but it would be we can also give you some tips on another episode of what to do to spice up your life. Maybe we're not going to suggest parasailing, but maybe, I don't know, popcorn with jalapenos.
Something reachable for me, Tanika, please. Like, not too spicy. Like, I can't have too much adventure. Let's make some attainable goals for the people like me.
Yeah, we're on it. So when you guys come back in the couple episodes that are upcoming, we'll talk mental health. We'll talk how to kind of get your life back, because that's something I've been trying to do as well recently. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Well, this was an amazing episode, an amazing conversation, and you guys should look for more episodes coming out. We're going to try for weekly, getting you guys some more weekly content.
And you can always reach out to us at our uh, email, on our website, in the comments. Just let us know what you want to talk about, and we will certainly bring it up. We truly appreciate you guys listening. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you, everyone.